Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Berkeley Middle East Global Training Center in Dubai. I would like to introduce myself as your lecturer for Human Resources Management topics at Berkeley Middle East. My name is Stefan Hofer. I am Swiss national. I'm born in Berkeley in 1958 as a son of Swiss expatriates. My father was a professor at the Free University of Berlin at that time, and I have one daughter. She's 35 and living in Zurich. I am living in Dubai since 2017. But I was here actually the first time already in 2002, still out of Switzerland for an assignment here in Dubai for the Swatch Group that time. I'm still frequently traveling to Europe and as well to Africa, where we have a lot of interests to support and develop the local markets of the Sub-Sahara region. My mother tongue is German. I'm speaking and working and writing professionally in English and French, and as well I speak some Italian, but more casually. My education comprises college and matura, equivalent to A-levels in the UK region, which allows you to start whatever studies you would like to in whatever university you would like to do. So afterwards I embarked at the University of Bern for the foundation course in law and economy. That's actually where I then learned very basic things, very important basic things for my further career about the labor code and contracts, and of course a lot of business administration as well. And then I went back to Berlin, my place of birth, and joined the same university where my father already had been teaching 20 years before. And there I absolved a course in philosophy and political science, where I was focusing on the communist countries of Eastern Europe, which at that time were surrounding this city of Western Berlin. And later on then, already during my professional career, I achieved the degree of Master in Human Resources Management, which is actually this degree which was relevant for my whole career. I started my international career with Rothmans of Pall Mall Limited, at that time the global #4 multinational in the tobacco business, with brands like Cartier, Dunhill, Pall Mall, Rothmans, and at that time we had a Formula One team, the Rothmans Williams Renault, with which we became world champion in 1993 with Nigel Mansell as our driver. And I was hired as a Human Resources Manager Central in Eastern Europe after the fall of the Iron Curtain, when these countries were like open for business and for export. It was a very, very attractive position, and I was not the only applicant, of course, and I made the race after all because of my studies in Berlin about these countries, which I just explained before. So you see, education always pays, sometimes even unexpectedly. My task was to set up and manage the HR departments in these countries, which was quite a difficult task, because you have to imagine it was post-communist countries. They had a completely different system. They were working in 5-year plans before, far away from our Western idea of how economy should work like. So we had to not only hire the people, we had to train them completely from the beginning in order to put all those sales forces together, which we would need to then really work in the markets. Additionally, I performed the role of the typical headquarters, head of personnel in Switzerland with some 100 people. That typical office, bigger office HR management job. After almost 6 years with Rothmans, Headhunter introduced me to Mr. Mark Rich, the king of oil, who was at this time the most famous oil trader in the world. And he offered me the position of a Chief Human Resources Officer for his group of companies. I accepted his offer and directed afterwards 23 countries all over the globe, and was again acting as the head of personnel at the headquarters in Switzerland. Mr. Rich was already quite an elderly man, and after a few years he decided to sell his companies and to reduce the whole organization to a family office environment. So there was a lot of sales, merge and acquisition tasks to do, due diligences, prepare due diligences, mainly for me of course HR due diligences. And after a while the whole organization was shrinked dramatically, and as you can imagine, for a family office with some 20 employees you don't need a senior HR director. But then again a headhunter approached me, and this time introduced me to Mr. Nicolas Hayek, this famous luminary of the Swiss watch industry, the founder and president of the Swatch Group, the biggest manufacturer of high-end quality watches like Omega, Longines, Tissot, Rado, and many others. As well, the big jewelry company Harry Winston belongs to the group. And he offered me the position of a regional Chief Human Resources Officer again. And I was then actually responsible for quite a big region. I had in my region I had Latin America, I had North America, I had Canada, I had the UK, I had all Scandinavia, I had Greece, Middle East and Australia. And Middle East actually was brand new as a development market for the Swatch Group. We had actually until 2002 distributors working there for us, but then we took it over. I was here in Dubai then 2002, 2003 quite often in order to organize our sales forces here, and it became an enormously successful region. This was a great position, but after 4 years there was a change of generation, and in that frame the whole HR department has been restructured. My job became obsolete, and there was no appropriate role for me anymore. So I left, and for almost 7 years I was working as an independent consultant. I was as well for 7 years I was partner at Stanton Chase in Switzerland, which was one of those top 10 executive search companies globally. Before I then again accepted a management role as again CHRO and a member of the board of the Turtle Group, the biggest investor, the biggest investment company in Sub-Saharan Africa. We had our headquarters in Zurich, and it was planned to move it to Dubai, and I was the first board member who was in Dubai to start everything. But then unfortunately the biggest investor broke away, and the whole thing has been restructured again, and move to Dubai has been cancelled. But I was already here and I decided to stay. So that is when I joined Berkeley as a partner, taking care for all human resources topics as a consultant and lecturer. So I hope I can help you to boost your HR career with one of our courses. You can find them all online, and the right level will be there for you. Just please register, and then I hope to see you soon again in one of our virtual classrooms. Thank you very much.